Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You'll catch me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine 44, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments, follows, greatly appreciated. Much love to everybody who does that thus far. So I put out as much free content as I can, and thank you to the clients that are coming to me through me doing that, because then you help sustain my business, so I appreciate that also. But this is the daily energy reading that I put out. It is where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring a narrative to help you guide your day, to make the most out of your day. So to recognize the energies that you have within others, the energies that you see within others and around you. So this is for the 5th of October 2020. It is general, so take what resonates and leave what does not. So the first card is the Justice card. So we have here the Justice card for the first card. We've got the Sun card for the second card. Two major arcanas off the bat, and then we have the Five of Swords for the next. So you can see the scales on the Justice card. It is the feather in one, and on this deck, in this dragon deck, it is fire in the other. It's sitting on top of Mother Earth, and it is balancing in scales. The Sun card, we've got the Leo lion with all of the signs rotating around it, and you can just make out the lion's face there. It's pretty self-explanatory. And the Five of Swords we've got, which is super self-explanatory. I showed you, excuse me, all three, because I want you to be able to see, excuse me, beforehand, rather than me going card by card. So the Justice card. This is where we see, this is the sign of Libra, it's the scales, it's the balance. It speaks of court cases, it speaks of big court cases. Now on the collective stage, there are huge court cases going on. I still feel that a lot of the court cases that are happening, although they might feel big to us, are nothing to the powers that be. I think it is to placate. On top of court cases, I can see a lot of big conference calls going on right now. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but that is to do also with the president. He warned last month that he was going to have to disappear for a little while. There's a lot of very serious talking, debating, chess moves being made in big rooms with a lot of wood benches. They're trying to divvy out their own justice or trying to come to compromises. Now, the problem is with that justice is that I don't care for any affiliations or any which ways to support. I think that's all divisional and all part of a long embedded plan. They are all mutually culpable for various different reasons, but all mutually culpable. And they've all made each other mutually culpable in equal ways, although for various different reasons. Those various different reasons, you can bet your life, align with their personal need to not have those things brought to light. And so this is really happening today, and of course it's happening on the 5, and we've got the 5 of Swords. You know, it's conflict, it's the halfway there, you know, it's the precipice point of which way is the dice going to roll down the hill. So as far as personally goes, the Justice card, you might be seeing that that injustices are being done, in that there is fines being handed out today prevalently in the UK in particular, you know, for silly things like not wearing a mask, you know, just deciding to not allow yourself to be living in fear and getting yourself poorly, for sure. The Nine of Swords clarifies the Justice card. And so right now it feels like a huge injustice. But, you know, there needs to be some kind of awakening from the mother to the many, because it's the many that have still complained about non-mask wearers, that have still, you know, been happy about businesses shutting down, and that have still been happy that people aren't seeing their families. It is still them that need to be woken up. And so it feels like, you see that this woman is severing this man's head off, literally. So it's harsh. It feels very harsh because it feels like the wrong people are being targeted, and they are in the collective. But what it does speak of is that those that are aware and in wisdom, the feather in one part of the scales and fire in the other. If you've stood true to yourself, if you've lived your life the way that you thought was right, if you've lived your life within the rules of nature, then your heart, even in this circumstance, your heart can still be light as a feather. If you have been the you that you wanted to be, if you haven't been torn up and you haven't been allowed yourself to be labeled, manipulated, and put into fear, then even if you are punished today with a fine or with police phone calls that are harassing because they've had a report from a Facebook post, which is happening here in the UK, then, you know, you will see that your heart will in the end still be light as a feather. This is more of a warning for those that aren't listening to their own discernment, that aren't listening and looking with their own eyes, and are still looking through the eyes of the mainstream media that have sold you down the river time and time again. And yes, for now you might be affecting the few that have their eyes open because you refuse to open your eyes. But the time will come when you will not be able to have a heart as light as a feather, because you'll remember the conversations, you'll remember the name calling, you'll remember the hotline phone calls that were made that helped bring about your Nine of Swords, because it'll come for you too. But there'll be guilt, be torn up. For those that haven't been living their life the way that they know they want to or need to, this is a heavy day, in that this Nine of Swords makes you feel imprisoned. Even if there's not imprisonment, it makes you feel imprisoned. It makes you feel locked up, entangled in thoughts, in repetitive thoughts. You feel blocked by this, which causes you to not have a heart as light as a feather. So the wisdom here is to change what you need to change. Do what you need to do. Right now, what's going on is no excuse. Right now, what's going on is every excuse to do what you need to do to create your life the way that you want it to be. Even if that is just putting on a different demeanor, even if that is just showing a little bit more of the real you. Practicing what you preach springs to mind. So, what else is here? As far as arrests go, there's at least 2 or 3 big arrests that are going to happen today. Whether they'll be in the public eye or not, I don't know. I've got a feeling that at least a couple of them will be. Their hearts will not be as light as a feather, but I still stand by the fact that the big, big boys and girls in these rooms with lots of wooden benches will not be, will be giving up these relatively, in our eyes, big names in order to placate the crowd, you know, to keep the crowd quiet while agendas roll in. So that with the Sun card, we've got the balance of the yin and the yang, the negative, the positive, divine feminine, divine masculine. On the bottom there, we've got the Leo lion in the middle. This is true enlightenment. This is light being shone upon every corner of self, of earth. And we see that this brings a good message, that this brings a message of hope with this Knight of Chalices, this Knight of Cups, that this brings some, you know, a lot of people having fun today too. For however heavy it is on this side with the Justice card, for those that already have a heart as light as a feather, actually today the enlightenment that's brought to you today brings in a real fun-loving, flirty nature. So it really is part of this separation of frequencies, because where many people are feeling the edge of this Justice card and the Nine of Swords, which is brutal, there's this other set of people that are completely separate and feeling the warmth of the sun on the back and the flirt in their heart, their emotions overflowing with joy. There's a wholeness for these people. So it couldn't be more opposite, but that's what everybody's been saying is going to happen and has been happening, including me. So it doesn't surprise. Now with this Five of Swords, this is clarified by the Empress. And so with the Empress, another major arcana, speaking of our thoughts, words and deeds create the reality that we live in. If we are speaking truth, doing it from a loving place, then we are creating a more truthful, loving world. If we are speaking our truth and doing it from a hateful place, then we're going to create conflict. Now, as far as the collective stage goes, and these masses of big people, the powers that be in these big rooms with the smell of wood everywhere, as far as this goes, they have mutual culpability, yes, but they are, through their words, thoughts and deeds, they're manifesting their reality. And they're doing that strong, they're doing that hard, and it's working. In that they are manifesting the 5 on the 5th. They're manifesting conflict, they're manifesting fighting, division between the people. We must not give them this. This is dark, dark spell work at its very best. We must not give them this. We must do our own high frequency magic. We must know that through our thoughts and our words and our deeds, we also create our reality. And so to talk out of a non-loving place right now, you're not only affecting you, you're affecting everyone, including our children. To talk out of a divided place right now, no good. You're going to finish off that spell work for them. You're going to help them do their job. To talk out of anything but that isn't love right now, whether that's truthful love, whether that's, you know, mushy love, whether that's, you know, an appreciation of love itself, as long as it's out of love and as long as your heart knows it is as light as a feather because it's not doing it from any hateful place or any divided place, that is exactly how we really do counteract what is going on today. And so I call upon anybody who's got any kind of magic skills to do your spell work today, and do it hard, do it well, do it with full intent, and speak positive words into this collective, speak truth into this collective, speak enlightenment into this collective. For anybody who hasn't, all you need to do is take on board the fact that your thoughts, words, and deeds create your reality. So if you are indeed having fearful or negative thoughts, you need to do whatever it is that you need to do to stop that. Whether it's distract your mind by doing some tapping while you're having those thoughts, that really works. Just various points around your body, tapping until those thoughts leave. And sometimes it takes quite a few times, but if you're doing it everywhere, every time that those thoughts come in, you know, you can find a way to, your body gets distracted, your thoughts get distracted. So look up tapping, take a bath, take a walk, whatever it is you need to do today to distract yourself from any negative or fearful thoughts or divided thoughts. Change those thoughts around. Like once you've done this tapping or whatever it is that helps you take that thought away, replace it with something really positive. Remap your own brain, reprogram your own brain. They've been programming it for so long. Take it back. Take back your ownership. They haven't bought the rights yet. We've still got time for them to not buy the rights to your brain, which would come. Replace it with positive thoughts. By your deeds. If you don't want to do something for somebody, don't do it, because that makes your heart as heavy as a stone. Even if you're doing something nice for somebody, if it comes from a place of not really wanting to do it, then that's not from a good place. If it comes from a place where you're doing something to help somebody, but then you go to somebody else's house and whinge about helping that somebody, not from a good place, not good enough. So do what you are led to do today. Do what you actually want to do today, and that you are going to feel light of heart for doing so, to help. This all helps create the reality that we would want and not what they would want. The Wheel of Fortune is on the bottom of the deck. There is so much to play for today, unbelievably so. I can't even get into it all on here, I don't think, but there is so much to play for today, and it all comes from this, and the deeds. It's so important. We have on the bottom of the other deck another 5, which would make up the 10, and that's the 5 of Wands. So 2 5s of conflict cards, arguing, towing a heavy load, readjusting here on this Wands card. Yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day, and I think that'll come out either today or later down the line, maybe tomorrow. Be aware if you spot anything that you know I love to hear about. Excuse me. Oh, it's very late here. If you spot anything that you know I would love to hear about, please leave a comment, because you know I love hearing about stuff, especially if it goes with the reading that I've done. If you spot anything over the next few days, please come back and comment, because I really appreciate knowing. And if it resonates with you, of course, comment too. Sorry for yawning, it is so late here. I haven't actually been too well over this last week, so it's starting to lift, but pretty tired still. So anyway, that is the reading for the 5th of October 2020. Please make it all that you can. Make it one of your best days yet by your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. Even if you're just having a day where you just want to do that just for you, that is okay. That is allowed. That is good. If it makes your heart as light as a feather, then be led by what you need to do. If it means that that is helping others, then fine. But please don't feel guilty. There's lots of people that feel guilty about serving themselves too. And it's so important to do so. You actually can help others even more when you do that. So I've got a feeling a lot of people need to do that today. They need that time. They need that me time. And a lot of people, no, don't like licky faces. You can lick other bits, but not the face. That sounded so wrong. So yeah, this ending's going swimmingly. So anyway, yeah, people need to be able to serve themselves too and enjoy doing it. It's a good thing to do. It's a very good thing to do. So do that. Enjoy yourself and serve yourself. And if you want to serve others, go ahead. But please don't feel guilty if you need to serve you first and foremost. You're taking full advantage because I'm working. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there because I'm rabbiting on and it's really late. So much love. Stay balanced. Stay whole. Mwah. Say mwah. Say mwah. No, she's not going to say mwah. Mwah. Silly little puppy. You silly little puppy. I think.